he took over for a team that went 3-9 in 2023. They hadn't had a 10-win season in 135 seasons. Not double digits. He went 11-2. He just went 16-0. Think about that. Curt Cignetti, who was coaching, and it's interestingly enough that both teams in the championship game both taught in the Sun Belt Conference. Cristobal started at Florida International, which he was not very good. His record was quite Robert Saleh-ish at Florida International. He went 27-47 for a 365 winning percentage, and Cignetti went 19-4 at JMU, 826. So UCLA's new head coach, who just coached at JMU and took JMU to the college football playoff where they lost to Oregon, is now the UCLA head coach. So now my cousin Teddy feels that they will have the same success, and Bob Chesney will bring a natty to UCLA. Which I was like, hey, why not? Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. But you know what? Stranger things have happened. Also, my cousin Hal just sent me a picture of him watching the national, listening to my last show. And I got a great picture of Mendoza going for the TD, which actually I found a clip that I sent to Rob, I sent to HEJ, I sent to Patty, and I sent to Tommy that back at, let me find it for you, but CJ's car in the first game of the season, thank you, Pat James, did a draw play just like the one I just showed you back in game one against Miami, and they had that play in the hopper, and Mendoza scored on a 12-yard, which tackling was terrible. And they actually got a block punt. But one thing that really pissed me off, so I saw that after the game that Carson Beck walked off the field, but I saw that Peyton Manning, hey, what's up there? What's up, the HEJ? That Peyton Manning would come back after the game. He didn't want to, there be an interview, they're celebrating. So Carson Beck got some crap. But Mark Fletcher got into it with Tyreek. Who did he get into it with? Tyreek Tucker. I saw him throwing punches. Well, reportedly, Miami recruiting director confirms that Tyreek Tucker made comments about Mark Fletcher's dad, late father, which if he did, that's a total dick move. And Fletcher had had 2 touchdowns in the game, a 57-yarder that brought the game 10-0, made it 10-7, and from there it was a game. I had 28-24 Miami, 27-21 Indiana. I think Barnes had 24-14 Indiana. So we both were kind of close. Carson Beck threw an interception at the game. I wanted Patty to tell me what he thought about that last pass. It didn't look like a good pass. It was same thing, kind of like Caleb Williams. There was an open part of the field, but he definitely underthrew his wide receiver, and that was that. I'm not a Carson Beck fan. Kuiper has him as the number 5 prospect, number 5 quarterback in the draft. I don't see it. And just his body language on the field, he always looks like he's pissed off, and it's always like to blame it someone, deflecting to someone else. And I never liked that about him. I just always 37-5. This was his 43rd career starts. Now he's 37-6, 7th year. I don't even think he's just playing football. He's taking classes. I mean, that's all he's doing. The tats. He thinks he's like the guy. What's that band? Maroon 5. Like a white guy thinks he's all tough, like was in prison or something. It's not a good look. He's a douchebag. I'm not a fan of him at all. It was the first loss versus an AP team this season for Cristobal, 7-1 now. Indiana was number 20 preseason. They were number 3 after beating Oregon to go 6-0. Moved to number 2 for the next 7 weeks. Beat the Fuck Guys 13-10 in the Big Ten championship game, and they moved to number 1 going to the college football playoff. Next season already, they're saying Indiana and Ohio State plus 700 co-favorites at DraftKings, followed by Texas and Notre Dame at 750. On that last INT, Indiana was playing. Here goes Rob. Indiana was playing a cover 2. Usually the cornerback will play close to the line of scrimmage. Because there was no shallow route on that side, he drifted back with the wide receiver. But I thought it was a good play by the wide receiver. I thought, but didn't one of the cornerbacks come into the play? And he underthrew the ball anyway, Rob. Didn't he? I mean, I don't think it was anywhere near the wide receiver. I thought that as opposed to DJ Moore, his wide receiver was actually running a route and running it, running for a catch. I just don't think it was a good throw. And Indiana, man, hey, and the guy who had the interception, Sharp, was from Miami, Florida. So I thought that was kind of crazy. So someone said, well, hopefully, we'll look back and they didn't do some shady shit. But isn't everybody? I saw Menza said that his rep said that Duke said he could transfer. So that's why he went to the portal. And now they're suing him to stay. and DJ Darian Menza said that he will go to Miami if it's legal, and his attorney, which is crazy, his attorney now, because he made like $4 million last year, said a judge ruled that he could enter the transfer portal. So this is going to be messy, but Miami should get Men. I think Menza will end up. There'll be something will happen, and Duke will get. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But am I shocked by any of this? No. It's college football now, and we'll see what happens going forward. I did talk before Cignetti. Yeah, in unbelievable zero double-digit win seasons, 135 years. They were 3-9 in 2023. They are 27-2 since. Just unbelievable. Jack Pilgrim's hopes that Will Stein will do for Kentucky what Cignetti did for Indiana, and can they do the unthinkable? Well, I never thought I would talk about Indiana playing for a national championship and winning one. And first time since 42. So Minnesota won in the 40-41. The Fuck Guys won in 42. And so the first time since 1942, we've had 3 straight Big Ten national champions. Indiana last year, the dump, the Fuck Guys, and the year before Michigan. If it bothers you that I say Fuck Guys, I apologize. But I can't stand Ohio State. I can't stand Ryan Day. So Fuck Guys just come out of my mouth very clearly. Now, 2001 all over again. They said Miami was the Natty in 2001. Eric Crouch was the weaker Heisman winner. Kurt Warner was the Rams MVP, but that was St. Louis. And Pats beat the St. Louis Rams 27 in the Super Bowl. The 2001 Miami football team, is that the year that they beat Nebraska? Am I right? 2001 Miami Hurricanes. No, I don't want the roster. How many players from 2001? 38 players drafted, including 17 first-round picks. They were pretty good. 2001, they finished 12-0, and they beat, Nebraska 37-14. They blew them out. 38 players, 17 first-round picks. Now, this is the thing. Mendoza right now is the Heisman Trophy winner. Is he that good a quarterback? Is he the guy? There's something about him. He throws a nice pass. Last night did not have a good game. I don't think either quarterback had a good game yesterday. I thought both of them played well. Beck had the interception, Dan, but someone said that Beck might have outplayed Mendoza. So second half, he was 0 for 3, sacked like three plays. He was 1 for 5 at one point. Was Mendoza? He did make some good throws. I mean that play, that run was amazing. I mean, that was a beautiful play, but I'm not really blown away by him. I'm not really, I know he won the Heisman. I guess he is the best candidate out there right now for quarterbacks out there, but I wasn't like, wow, he played a phenomenal game. He played all right. It was their toughest game of the season. They've been blowing everybody out. They won, which is all that matters. They did get a block punt for a touchdown. They held they had a 14-play drive for a touchdown, and at that point, Miami had 14 plays for 26 yards. They had 18 yards, Miami, in the first quarter. 18 yards in the first quarter, which is no bueno. And then in the third quarter, I think they had 69 in the first half. Yes, they had 150 yards in the third quarter alone, and I thought they might be taken away from them. I thought Miami was in trouble. I mean, I thought Indiana was in trouble because I love ESPN. You know what I love about ESPN? That it never works. You go on it, and it just freezes. And it takes forever for it to get going, and you're just like, guys, can you work once in a while? So you see, I'm hitting the thing, and it just takes as long as it wants to take to work. Drives me nuts. Okay, so Carson Beck went 19 for 32, 232, a touchdown interception. He also was sacked. 1 for 7. They had, how many times was he sacked? He was sacked once. That's it. So he kept himself. Mendoza went 16 for 27, 186. He came into this game with 8 touchdowns, 5 incompletions. He had no touchdowns, no interceptions. He ran 7 times for -8 yards. He was sacked. Was it 3 or 4 times? I'll tell you, they're talking about Ruben Baines having small arms and everything. All Ruben Baines did in the game was have 8 tackles, 5 solo, a sack, 2.5 tackles for loss. They were holding him like crazy. Akeem Messidor had 2 sacks. They ended up having 6 sacks. Six tackles for loss. I'm sorry. I went a little crazy. Yeah. So Messidor had 2 sacks, two tackles, 2 tackles for loss. I thought they were playing. I thought Bain was and fast. Bain has crazy speed. Malachi Tony, what did he had 122 yards, 102 yards after the catch. And they were controlling him at first. I mean, they really stopped him on the run. He didn't do anything. I think everything was a pass. I thought they were going to try a couple runs with him, but Tony had a touchdown, a 20 yard touchdown. I mean 10 for 122. He was great. C.J. Daniels, Bauman had a catch. He got destroyed on one play where he didn't catch a ball. But Mark Fletcher ran for 112, 57 on one carry, ran a lot of tough plays. And, Beck threw for 232, had a nice second after the interception. Kalen Black ran for 79 tough yards. I mean, they were beating the crap out of him. Hemby had 60. So they did run the ball, 2.9 yards per rush. Miami definitely was better with the run, but 57 of those yards came on one play. So really, they had 20 carries for 53 yards. So really, neither team really ran the ball well. Tony got his touches. He's only a freshman. They'll bring in a quarterback. First half, they were 0 for 6, Miami. They finished 3 for 11 on third, 1 for 1 on fourth. Indiana was 6 for 16, 2 for 2 on fourth down. They had been 1 for 6 in the regular season, 2 for 2, and on the same drive. A lot of penalties hurt Miami. They had 7 for 60. Indiana had 5 for 38. There was a couple, pass interference calls that were not called. That kind of pissed me off. But, I mean, that's what happens sometimes. Yeah, Irvin was out there for the coin toss. Nobody saw him at the end of the game. They said, where was his belt to do the whipping? Canes were going for their 6th natty. As we know, Indiana was going for their 1st. Yeah, so, and Miami had been 4 for 11 versus Ole Miss on third down, 7 for 21 on third down, 7 yards or longer coming into the game. Yeah, Mendoza did not have a great game. Yeah, Indiana, there was a lot of 3-and-outs at the beginning of the game. Hoosiers, good second drive. Twitter says Bain was being held a lot, which I don't disagree with. Red zone TDs, 54 was second to North Texas. You know what? They don't have that. Do they have the information here? No, they do not do red zone here. Yeah, I mean, neither team. I mean, it was a tight game. Yeah, I thought Becker had one, but it wasn't a good pass. Becker made a fourth down catch where it was underthrown and he kept his body contorted and he kept his body on the field. That was amazing. Yeah, they got it 3-0. What did I say? Oh, number 8 for Thomas. Oh yeah, he hit. So number 8 for Miami hit Mendoza under the chin. He was bleeding. A bad cut, but they didn't call anything on that play. It was Jacoby Thomas, and they said and of course the refs don't see it, and they said he could have been thrown. It was a dirty hit, but they didn't see it, and Miami said they were going to try to hit Mendoza every play. Miami had a lot of 3-and-outs to start the game. Oh, teams to score first in the college football playoff are 10-1 this year. The only team to lose was Oklahoma. It was up 10-0 on Bama, and they ended up losing 34-24. Ruben Bain, wreaking havoc in second inning drive. Miami first 3 series, 3-and-out. So coming in, Mendoza was pressured 5 times against Bama, 6 times against Oregon. And I read somewhere that I felt like he was pressured every time he went back, which is going to be good. But out of 27, it seemed like every time he was going back, there was pressure, and he was getting hit. So definitely, Surratt, I mean, there was one, he got pulled on his jersey. There was a third down play. He dropped the pass he should have had. Surratt had a couple drops. They came in with the least amount of drops, second most behind Ohio State. Yeah. 7 to 13 plays, which they didn't blitz, they said. And yesterday, they were what's his name? Herbstreit was saying how they don't really blitz. Well, they were blitzing a lot in the game, and it was working. There was a 3rd and 8, 21-yard draw play for Black early in the game. Becker had a TD, but they said he stepped out of bounds. And number 29 on Miami just kind of like touched him, which I don't know what he was doing in that play. Who was 29? Oh, he's not even listed here in tackles because he didn't have any tackles. And ugly. I want to call that tackling. So Miami had a pass interference and an offside penalty on the drive, which led to they had 10 against Mississippi, Ole Miss, none versus Ohio State, and 4 against A&M. So Miami, as I said, 14 plays of the game. Indiana, 14 plays on the drive. Ryle Nowakowski, 10-0. 14 plays, 85 yards, 644. It's 10-0, and you think, okay, it's going to be a blowout. Dana Walken posted, as I said before, 14 plays, 26 yards. Indiana had 14 plus play drives this year, 4, and already won tonight. TB12 and Mark Davis were at the game watching Mendoza, I would think. Miami advantages on the line, 53 yards per play on the offensive line, 4th and 1 in inches. And yeah. I thought they had it. I thought they stopped them, but they got it. But they were hidden. So that was a big play. Miami gets 2 first downs. Tony, they were hitting him they were stopping him. Second half, he made up for it. There was a doink by Carter Davis, who missed a 51-yarder versus Ole Miss. Also a doink. So instead of a 10-3 half, which is big, think about it. 27-24, then they could have, we could have played for overtime. But, Miami were like 30 seconds run off the clock before the field goal attempt, which I don't understand. Why did you try to get closer? Which I don't understand about Cristobal was doing. Yeah, and Michigan was saying that, what were they doing with the clock management? And Indiana got the ball to start the second half. So you're like, they're up 10-0, but Indiana held Miami 4 punts, missed field goal, 3.1 yards per play in the first half. First half was 11-3, Indiana in first downs. Miami 0 for 6 on third, 1 for 1 on fourth. Indiana 4 for 7 on third downs. 169 and 69 in yards in the first half. Miami had 3 penalties. Indiana had 2. Time of possession 18 to basically 12 for Indiana. Carson Beck 6 for 10, 49 yards, 42 net yards. Fletcher had 9 for 26, along of 9. Chamar Brown had 2 carries for 1 yard. C.J. Daniels had 2 carries. Tony had 3 catches for 11 yards. Second half, he had 7 for 111. Ruben Bain had a 4 tackles, 3 solo, tackle for loss. Yeah. Mendoza, 12 for 17, 16 yards. So second half, he only completed 4 passes. He went 4 for 9 in the second half, which is kind of crazy, right? Yeah, the offense was scant the second half. D'Angelo Pons, who came over from JMU, they said is going to be a good NFL player. He's going to be. Last team shutout first half was Bama back in 2018. They were down 13-0 at the half to Georgia. Tua came in for Jalen Hurts. They won 26-23. Devontae Smith caught the winning touchdown pass. They said 16 of the 17 dropbacks in the first half. Mendoza had been pressured. But Mendoza was getting the ball out of his hands 2.1 in the first half. Xavier Lucas, who was suspended for a late hit, he played the second half for Miami. And, second play, they got a sack of Mendoza. 3rd and 17 of face masks on Miami. First down, which hurt them. Then they sacked him a second time. Bain Jr. got a sack. And then they get the ball back. Mark Fletcher Jr. is coming back. 57-yard run. 2 plays, 62 yards, 46 seconds. Longest run of Fletcher's career. His mom has been at every game. I thought he has his dad on his, things on his eyes. 12 rushes, 20 yards. And then Fletcher does a 57-yard run for Miami. Third and 3. So they got the ball back down up 10-7. Surratt had the ball and tipped it out of his hands twice. They had a punt, 2 chances to catch it. And then this was players to win Heisman National title and be number 1 pick. Angelo Bertelli in Notre Dame 1943. Leon Hart in Notre Dame 1949. Cam Newton, Auburn 2010. Jameis Winston, Florida State 2013. And Joe Burrow, LSU 2019. Now, I'd have to go back. Bertelli and Hart before my time. Cam Newton had a solid career, went to Super Bowl. Jameis Winston, I would say, not the career you expect for him to have. And Joe Burrow went to Super Bowl. I'd like to see him go back to another one. But I don't put Mendoza up with those. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know about him. He plays hard. I just don't know if 100%. I don't know. Yeah, and they're letting him to do that. They let him wrap around. That's the way they're taught. But I feel like also as a D-back, you have to be able to use your arm. You can't guard a guy and be like this. Now look back. You got to look back. But I feel like you can't guard a receiver and expect not to have, hand fighting or an arm around. You're trying to get to the ball. You're going to touch the guy. You can't be perfect. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah. Mutual combat with Surratt on a play which I thought was a PI. They didn't call. Indiana at a 54-yard punt. Indiana came to the game, drop rate of 2.1%. Tom Fornelli said second best. They had some drops. Almost a red zone interception for Beck. 3 and out. Tony was being swarmed. They get the block punt, and Cignetti didn't even look happy, but Mikhail Kamara from a JMU transfer blocked it with one hand. Not even rushed, not even from the edge. He just put his hand up, blocked it, and bam. Fourth block of the season, eighth block in the last 2 years. Back-to-back games for Indiana with a block punt. You know, they had one against Oregon, too. D'Angelo Pons, what a hit on Alex Bauman. Oh, shoulder, total legal, but knocked his out of. Now, Bauman had a big catch later in the game. Yeah, and then Carson Beck made some plays. They had their first third down conversion. They were now 1 for 9. 150 in the third quarter, as I said. And Indiana, number 1 in the country, defending and preventing red zone TDs, which they gave a red zone TD there. And they did a great play where they kind of like stopped, and Fletcher just went around perfectly, empty end zone. It was a nice play. Yeah, 7 line offensive lineman, and Fletcher walked in. So it's 17-14, which is a big play. And Miami wasn't great, and Indiana was great in defending and preventing red zone TD. So it's now 17-14, and Mendoza at this point has 3 pass attempts, 3 sacks. He's 0 for 3, which is crazy, right? Yeah, almost a pick 6. Ethan O'Connor jumped the ball on Mendoza, and I'll tell you, that would have been interesting. He got his first completion. He's 1 for 5 in the second half for 19 yards. Yeah. Yeah, 0 for 3 in the second half. On a third down, they were 0 for 3. Omar Cook didn't secure a ball. Ethan O'Connor holding on. That's another thing. So Ethan O'Connor, after making almost pick 6, you could see him pulling the jersey. And I don't know, the refs don't see stuff. So the first fourth down attempt, Indiana college football playoff, 4th and 5. Becker made a phenomenal catch, contorting his body. So Michigan told me this. Mendoza's dad doesn't get up on big plays because his wife can't. She's in a wheelchair. They kept showing the mom and dad. 3rd and 5, 2-eye pass, 4th and 5. You're thinking field goal. Do they go for field goal? If they don't get it, they're pinned inside the 15. Well, then Mendoza does that holy shit play. Yeah, I mean, just unbelievable. Wait. Yeah, Mendoza runs it in, which is, and he was hit. And Cignetti, big stones, I said. Big freaking stones. And he got hit at like the 5, and he still got in the end zone and got destroyed going in the end zone. The picture I showed you. Destroyed. 12 plays, 75 yards, 539. Miami got another hold in the kickoff, sets him back. 17,000, they show a pic of Assembly Hall. Outside, they were celebrating. It was crazy. The bars, hours before, people wait outside in the cold to get into bars to watch the game. Yeah, and as I said, last 4 possessions, at this point, they're down 24-14, right? Right at this point, is it 24-14? Is that what the score was? I see it in my head, and let me see, game cast. Let me see, so it was 20, yes, 24 with 9:18 left. Then they go down, yeah. So they had 4 possessions from Miami, all started inside the 20. And Miami was playing a lot better football in the second half. Yeah, Alex Bauman gets 22 on a 3rd and 15. Tony, who caught a 41-yard pass, had to slow down because he had to wait for his teammate to, catch, to actually block them. Then Tony gets a 22-yard. I thought it was a TD run. It was a catch. 8 plays, 91 yards, 2:41 left. So it's 24-21, 6:37 to go. Indiana was already down at 1 timeout. They kept using timeouts, and you're like, is this going to come back and haunt them? 3rd and 7, Becker, underthrown, great catch. Adjusted his body, 2 minutes left. Miami, 3 timeouts. 2nd and 1. This is what hurt. Okay, so it's 2nd and 1. They get the first down here, which you look, they run the ball well with Black. Indiana gets a false start on their All-American left tackle. Left guard. I think it was left guard. Left number. I see number 65. And it makes them 2nd and 6. So all of a sudden, now you thought they would have gone in for a touchdown. Nope. So now first penalty in the second half for Indiana, 3rd and 5. Miami, 151 left. And 4th and 4, no timeouts. 147 left. Nico Rodicic gets a 35-yarder, 11 plays, 57 yards, 455, 27-21, 142 left. No, Miami has no timeouts. They get a false start. The false start definitely gave Miami a chance. Miami delay of game first play of the drive after how do you get a delay of game penalty? That always that I was like how? Second and 15 personal foul on Indiana's Landino on Carson Beck, which was an incompletion. So instead of a third and 15, they get a first down. 8 seconds left. Cignetti takes his last time out. First and 10. Cignetti bad throw. Jamari Sharp interception. I said he was from Miami, and Cignetti finally smiles, which was nice. Mendoza said that after the game, he said the draw was written up for game. Great blocking. Cignetti said, actually, someone else did it again. C.J. Carr did it for Notre Dame versus them in the first game of the season. Cignetti first coach to win chip in first or second season since 2010. Gene Chizik, remember him? Won in his second year at Auburn, 14-0 season with Cam Newton. Next 2 years, he went 11-14 and was done. He went 33-19 at Auburn. Next 2 years, he went to chip, goes 11-14 next 2 years, and is done at Auburn. So now I don't think Cignetti's going to have a drop off, but you don't have great teams like this every year. You just don't. So 33-19, 635 winning percentage. I thought that was interesting. Big Ten, third straight, as I said. Last time since 40 through 42. Todd Furman, 3 years ago, Indiana. 3 years ago, if you would have, bet, what would the odds have been? Now I saw it was 100. What wasn't it 100-1 to win? Let me see. I had a picture of that. Let me see. There was odds for before the season. The Indiana was 100-1 to win the Natty. So I guess you were a little off there, Todd Furman. And Mendoza was the offensive MVP. I think Becker made some great catches. I think Becker should have been Becker saved the season, in my opinion, in a lot of ways. I don't think Mendoza. I know that run is great and everything, but Cignetti said we won the national championship at Indiana University. It can be done. You can Google it. Mike Chappelle posted that. Yeah, 2 years ago, Indiana was 1-9 versus the P4. 2 years later, 16-0. First team since 1894 to finish the season 16-0. Thank you, Matt Zenitz. Barrett Saleh said since the Yale team of 1894. Jeff Goodman says, I can't seem to find Michael Irvin and his belt anywhere. Sportico said, yeah, as we talked about, 101. Indiana does come to Rutgers next year. Thank you, Steve Politi, for that one, because I know everybody's excited to have that game. Mendoza said, if they needed me to take shots in the front or the back, I don't know what that means. I'll die for my team. I agree with that. Front of the back, I don't know what that means, but, more power to you. He is passionate, but will it translate to the NFL? I don't know. I'm not blown away by his skill level. Indiana had 7 4-star high school recruits on the team. Chris Hummer said blue chip ratio busted. New era of college football. I don't disagree. I mean, he picks production over prospects. He said that, Cignetti. Mr. Chris Spot said first team since 1996, a college football program won their first natty since the Gators. A 29-year streak ends tonight. So this is the first time since 96 a college football program won their first natty. Cignetti, 2022 is at JMU, 8-3, 2023, 11-1, and now within 4 years, he has won a national championship in college football. It's a great story. Now, John Fanta has even a better one. Most recent team to go undefeated in college football, of course, it is Indiana. But do you know the last college basketball team to go undefeated? John Fanta is a great one. Bob Knight's 75-76 Indiana Hoosiers team went 32-0. That's pretty crazy. The last undefeated college football and college basketball team is from Indiana, Indiana University. Will Kunkel, last 4 wins, Ohio State, Bama, Oregon, and Miami. Nothing to shake a tail feather at. No, not at all. And the final college football college football rankings came out. Indiana started 20, finished number 1. Miami moved 8 spots up, highest rankings since 2002. 2003 was the most recent. They were in the top 10. They lost the Natty that year. Was 2002? Wasn't that? I think that was the right. Wasn't that the? That was when they lost. When the fuck guys got that PI penalty against them. Ole Miss at 3, highest ranking since 62. Oregon finished at 13-2, top 10 for the 3rd straight year. Big Ten 3 in Final 5 for the 2nd straight year. Ohio State top 10, 12th year in a row. Georgia finished 6th for the 2nd year in a row, 2nd straight year. Top 10 every year since 2017. Texas in the top 10 for the first time ever in the final poll. Bama Was number 17 last year in the final poll. They finished 9 this year. Notre Dame went from 10 to 9, ninth straight year in the final poll. BYU 11, Texas 12, Oklahoma 13, Utah 14. Vandy has their highest ranking at 15 since 1948 when they finished 12. UVA 16, Iowa beat Vandy in a bowl game, so they finished 17. Tulane 18, JMU first time in a final poll ever 19, USC 20, Michigan 21. They were not the 21st ranked team in the country. Houston, first time in 4 polls that they've in the final poll, 22. Navy at 23. North Texas, first final poll ever. TCU ranked first time since September. They beat Houston, Cincy, and USC to end the year. You had Arizona at 21, Georgia Tech at 24, and Missouri at 25 dropout. SEC, 7 teams in the final top 25, second straight year. Last year was the first time since 2013. You had Ole Miss, Georgia, Texas A&M, Bama all in the top 10, then Texas, OU, and Vandy. So 7 teams in the top 15. You had, what's up, Josh? You had Big Ten, 6 ranked teams, Indiana, Oregon 4, Buckeyes 5, Iowa 17, USC 20, and Michigan 21. Big 12, 5 teams. Number 7, Texas Tech, BYU 11, Utah 14, Houston 22, TCU 25. How about the American Conference? 18 Tulane, 23 Navy, and 24 North Texas. You know what? That's more impressive to me. Listen, it is incredible what they did, but to have teams in smaller conferences play the way they did this year, I think it was great for football. Not a lot of people didn't want JMU and Tulane in, and Miami was they shouldn't be it. Well, I know Notre Dame, my Notre Dame people are upset, but I got to be honest with you, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Miami definitely got themselves on the right track, played a hell of a season. Indiana blew out teams this season, and nothing to be ashamed about. I mean, Carson Beck, hey, I didn't think you could win with him. He wasn't a guy, if I had to make a play, I want Carson Beck in the backfield. But Mendoza was the Heisman Trophy winner, and he made that draw play and made passes when he had to. They won the game. They didn't blow them out, but they won. In the end, that's all that matters. No one's going to remember what the score of the game was. Everyone's going to remember 16-0. ACC had 2 teams, Miami and UVA. Notre Dame, the only independent, and Sunbelt, JMU. Rangers were up 1-0 on a Matthew Robertson goal. Spencer Martin was in goal. They ended up losing. They were down 2-1 after 2. They lost. What's the final score? 5-3. They were down 4-2 when I shut it off. They lost 5-3. Panarin and Mika. Panarin has his 6th 10-game point streak as a Ranger, and Mika has a 9. Gauthier got his 21st and 22nd against them. 4 goals this season. I think 4 or 5 goals against the Rangers this season. Ducks 4th win in a row after losing 9 in a row. And Rangers play tonight against the Kings. Mika, in his 9-game point streak, has 9 goals, 9 assists, 18 points, 2-6-1. Panarin, in his 10-game point streak, has 5 goals, 13 assists, 18 points. In the 9 games that let's just go 2-6-2 in Panarin's 10 games, 2-6-1 in Mika. So I'm glad they're scoring. Does it really matter? No. So yesterday, I looked up, I had some NHL stuff yesterday, and I was like, you know what? It's good to have stuff to talk about. Nathan McKinnon, 70th player to 1,100 points. He's only the second. Do you know who the other Avalanche player in the franchise have 1,100 points? You see, I don't think I have my hockey people on today, so I don't think I have my people to ask that question. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not going to torture you guys. Joe Sakic, McKinnon had 2 goals and an assist yesterday. They beat the Caps 5-2. They're 34-5-8. The Caps fell to 24-20-6. But McKinnon in 47 games has 38 goals, 47 assists, 85 points. And going into the game was a plus 47, which is out of control. Now, McDavid in 50 games has 30 goals, 55 assists, 85 points. I just told you what. Now, McDavid had a 20-point streak. So I just told you what. Okay. In combined, they had 14 goals and 22 assists for 36 points in their combined 9 and 10 game point streaks for Mika and Panarin. McDavid the Islanders on Thursday shut him out 1-0. So he's a 20-game point streak. He had 19 goals, 46 points. More than Mika and Panarin combined. Now, I know McDavid is this, but still, just to put it in perspective, how freaking good he is. How good he is. 19 goals. Panarin got in the game. What did Panarin get? Panarin got his 18th goal of the season, I think. Was it 18th or 19th? I wrote it down. Panarin got his 19th. Well, he got 19 goals in a 20-game span. That's for the season, Panarin. Last 2 games, they blanked the Blues and Blues and the Canucks. Back-to-back. 11-0 in the 2 games. Last time he's been blanked 2 games in a row, McDavid, was last year in January against Anaheim and the Kraken. And he's playing in his first Olympics. Because remember, they didn't have Olympics last time. Yeah, Barnes, no one cares. No one cares. McDavid, longest streak since Toronto. Mitch Marner, 23 games, 22 and 23. McDavid, last 2 games since the 20-game point streak ended, 3 assists. Trinton Jarry, 4-0-1 recently. Connor Ingram, save percentage of .917 after shutout over Blues. Yeah, Bezos, yeah. Kasperi Kapanen, 9 points in 13 games since coming back from an injury. Yeah, nobody cares. Yeah, nobody, because it's not baseball season. Yeah, nobody cares because it's January fucking 20th. It's not baseball season. It's still football. Nobody cares. When you go down for spring training, enjoy yourself, buddy. The Oilers had a .292 point percentage in games when they scored fewer than 4 goals since November 1st, which is the 5th lowest on teams that are on track to go to the playoffs. Draisaitl in 25 goals, 42 assists, 67 points in 48 games. They're the number 1 scoring attack since December 1st. And since December 2nd, the Oilers are 14-7-3. And in the 20-game point streak, McDavid, 19 goals. He had more than he had the same amount of goals, 19, that Mikko Rantanen has in 47 games. His 46 points during the streak matches the season total for Brad the Rat Marchand of the Panthers. And his 46 points in 20 games, the most since Mario Lemieux. And this was wild. So the largest gap between teammates, first and second teammates. Do you know which team has the biggest gap? Because Barnes is here. Does anybody know some hockey? Who has the biggest gap between teammates in points in the NHL this season? Does anybody know? First trivia question of the day. Anybody? Anybody? Yeah. Wait, hold on. That's not it. No. That's it. Crickets. That's what I hear. Crickets. 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 Macklin Celebrini has 72 points. Tyler Toffoli has 32. The Sharks haven't won a game this year when Celebrini doesn't record a point. They were 0-8-2. Well, they beat the Panthers yesterday 4-1. There was a goalie fight. No points. So that streak is over. San Jose improved to 25-20-3, and Florida dropped to 25-20-3. That was pretty cool. Kachuk played. He was scoreless. And Toffoli didn't have any points in the game. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Harbaugh presser today at noon wants to bring a Super Bowl to the Giants. No shit. What are you coming here for? To juggle? You're coming here to win. Win. And he thinks Rex Ryan could be the defensive coordinator, does HTJ. He also says, is Tom Coughlin a Hall of Fame coach? He said every coach that's won 2 Super Bowls is in it. Yes, he is the next face of the league. Just like you're the face of the Yankees there, Barnes. With your delusional takes and your opinions about the Yankees. That they'll actually be part of the commentary. The Yankees will actually have, well, they could have a good year in the AL. But I don't know what's going to happen after that. Yeah, and Mulch, hey, listen, Volpe could have a good year. And when he does, I'm going to be all over you like a dog on shit. Harbaugh wants to bring a Super Bowl. Mike Garafalo, I like this one, said, Shane says he and Harbaugh will work collaboratively. Harbaugh having final say being just something that's on a piece of paper. Doesn't matter. Oh, yeah. Shane, so I wrote something. Well, Shane, what'd they go, 8-30, your last 38 games? Yeah. Yeah, that's not delusional. Dude, he had 19-72. How delusional is it to say he could get 30-90? Yeah, you'll enjoy the good year and know that I was right and you were wrong. Yes, that's what you'll know. Yeah, yes, you will. But I don't think Shane's going to be – I don't know if I want a final say. I'd like them to collaborate. We'll see what happens on that front. Dan Kelly, thank you. C. Brown, thank you this. Most passing yards, NFL playoffs, Tom Brady, 13,400. Next on list in 2 and 3 is Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers combined have 13,312. No, I did not. I was at the gym working out. Today was leg and back day. I sent my taxes in. I started watching Tires, which I never watch, and it's actually pretty fucking funny. Couldn't hit water falling out of a boat. What do you mean? Who couldn't hit water falling out of a boat? Oh, you're talking about Volpe? Oh, stop. Just stop. Stop with your Volpe. Nobody cares. So, yes, TB12 has more passing yards than Peyton and Aaron Rodgers on the list at 2 and 3, combined 13,312. We did watch two episodes of Heated Rivalry about the two gay hockey players. And there was an episode that was really good. And I would hate to be an athlete that couldn't come out because we're afraid to lose endorsements and everything. Yes, there's way too much sex in the show, but the hockey stuff's pretty good. And I know Shorty's coming back. So what else? Oh, Robert Saleh goes 20 and 36 with a 357 win percentage, goes 4 and 13, 7 and 10, 7 and 10, 2 and 3, and is fired. But sure, he's a good coach. It's January. Volpe isn't a free agent. No one cares about him right now unless he gets traded or the Yankees sign a shortstop. Rob, it's January 20th exactly. But Robert Saleh, how does he get another coaching job? How does he get the tight end job? Why? Everybody talks about how great a defensive coordinator he is. He is a defensive coordinator. And then Patty goes, hey, they gave him 41 points. Well, they lost 4 or 5 guys. When do we use not having players as an excuse? You still gave him 41 points in a playoff game. I know he had a good season as a defensive coordinator, but he gave up on the Jets. I saw him on the sideline. He was pathetic. I don't understand why he gets another coaching job. I'm sorry. I think everybody, he's a good, now he's going to call defense when he's with the Titans, and he'll get an offensive coordinator. Come on. It's ridiculous. Yes, the Knicks and Rangers suck. Underdog had this as AFC Championship game appearances since 1984. Who has more AFC Championship appearances since 1984? The Chargers or the Seahawks? The Chargers have 2. The Seahawks have 1. And the Seahawks are now in the NFC, so that's saying something. Also, Doug Clawson, head coach openings on teams with former MVP quarterbacks at age 30 or younger. This year you got Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. In 2000, you had Kurt Warner. Well, what's his name? Well, they brought in the who was the coach after what's his name retired? Who's the coach after what's his name? Who was the coach when I see his face. The Nets are more interested right now than talking about Volpe for the umpteenth. Yeah, I can't talk about I can't talk about Volpe when even it's regular season. 2002. Who was the coach of the Rams when they won the Super Bowl with Kurt Warner? Who was the coach? Former Eagles coach. How come I see his face? God damn it! I see his face. He did and he was a very good announcer too. 2000. Yeah, Dick Vermeil. And then after Vermeil retired, who took over for Dick Vermeil for the Rams? Rams coach 2002. I see his face, offensive coordinator. They went to Super Bowl with him. Yeah, Mike Martz. Okay, so Mike Martz. Thank you, HCJ. So 2000, that's what Martz took over for Vermeil. 99 and 2000, I guess it was because Holmgren left. And then who took over for Holmgren? I see his face too. He went to college. Who was the 2000 Packers coach? I see his face. 2000 Packers coach. It was Mike Sherman. Yes. I like Mike Sherman. Just wasn't that good. And then 1980 Colts, Burt Jones, and 1963 Colts, Johnny U. So we have an interesting and you've heard nothing. Nothing about the Bills, nothing about the Ravens. Stefanski is going to Atlanta. Is it going to be a young guy? Gruden's not going to get the job. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see what happens on that front. Oh, and 2 players since 2000 have 3+ sacks and 2+ forced fumbles in a playoff game. Odafe Owe, 2 weeks ago for the Chargers against the Pats, and last week Will Anderson did it against the Pats also. Doug Clawson said Nick Bonito could have a field day against Will Campbell in that offensive line. Oh, Dable going to Buffalo. So Joe Brady interviewed in Kubiak and who's the DC for and Minter, all Randy told me all interviewed for the Jesse Minter got a second interview for the Raiders. Yeah, I guess I don't know, man. Dable. Well, if Saleh can get hired, why can't he? And on both the AFC and NFC championship games, it's Sean versus Mike, Sean Payton versus Mike Vrabel, and Sean McVay versus Mike McDonald, not the singer. And this is from a What the Fuck stats. All the Final Four teams left in the playoffs have won a Super Bowl in the last 12 years. Never happened before. Pats won in 2019, Broncos in 2016, Rams in 22, and Seahawks in 2014. Knicks, 7-11 the last 18, 2-9 their last. Milton said 2. I guess they're 2-9 their last 11. Thank you, Milton. They're playing like shit. Mike Brown said first time Knicks fully healthy. He sent analytics guy the combo he wanted to play in the game, which he hadn't played together all season. They were down 20 points. Doesn't matter. They're getting their asses kicked. Knicks are going the opposite direction. They're a game and a half behind the Celtics, who lost to the Pistons last night, 104-103. Brunson said he'd be booing us too. LeBron ends a 21-year streak as all-star starter, 21 years, 2005 to 2025. Luka, 6th. He was the top, first as a Laker, most fan votes in the West. He made his 6th as a starter. Curry is 12th. SGA is 4th. Jokic is 8th. Wemby is 2nd. In the East, it was Tyrese Maxey is 2nd. Jalen Brunson is 3rd. Kate Cunningham is 2nd. Jalen Brown is 5th. And Giannis is 10th. He was a leading vote getter. Yeah, and SGA, the Cavs are playing like dog shit. So they're saying the world team is going to be Doncic, SGA, Jokic if he's healthy, Wemby, and Giannis. U.S. starters later. Pistons are 31-10. Boston's 26-15. They're ahead of the Knicks now. Knicks are going in the opposite direction. And the Knicks have traded. I think the Suns are doing better now. So that's going to affect. It's going to help the Knicks Nets draft pick for when they got Bridges, because they're playing better and the Knicks are playing worse. Clippers are 13-2. They're their last 15. They're 19-23. 2 games back. They're in the 10th spot in the West. And Jimmy Butler, that's had torn ACL, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists in 38 games. So he's done. Yeah, that sucks, huh? That sucks in basketball. Seton Hall tonight at St. John's at the Garden. St. John's 13-5, 6-1 in the Big East. Seton Hall's lost 2 in a row, 14-4, 4-3. Former UNC players. Yeah. What did HEJ say? Oh, about Volpe? Yeah, come on. I love him. Dable to Buffalo. That'd be crazy. Oh my God. That would be crazy. Yeah. And former UNC players, Tyler Nickel, 15 points at Vandy, which Vandy basketball. I know Shea Ralph has them undefeated, the women's team, but Vandy just lost their first game of the season. They lost to Texas. Vandy basketball is playing Arkansas. They're 16-2. They've lost 2 games in a row. I didn't know they lost 2 games in a row. Damn. Yeah, so they've lost some games. They're at Arkansas tonight, 13-5. No energy for that nonsense. What nonsense? Yeah, so Tyler Nichols averaging 15 a game. Jalen Washington, former UNC player, is averaging 10. Ellie Cadeau is averaging 10 for Michigan. Cade Tyson, 21 at Minnesota. And Dontrez Styles is averaging 11 at NC State. They host tomorrow Notre Dame. They're 2-3 in the ACC. They lost to SMU. They lost to Stanford. Lost to Cal. They're at their worst 5-game starts in 2019, 2020 when Roy Williams was coaching, and they went 14-19, 6-14 in the ACC. I didn't say anything bad about them. The same applies to Soto right now. There's nothing interesting about them in the offseason unless they're a free agent. There's nothing interesting about baseball, period. I hear there's going to be a trade Scooble with the Blue Jays, but I haven't seen anything since of that happening. We'll see what happens on that front. What else do I have here? Took some pictures. Let's see if anything's interesting. This year, class of 2026, Steve Spurrier is going to go into the South Carolina Hall of Fame May 18th. Baseball is so much more interesting than the NBA and a week they call it. It is in the offseason. So in the offseason, it's more interesting. Yeah. Okay, buddy. NCAA golf champ joins LIV forfeits Masters. So where's Mendoza's brother's going to transfer to Mayu? Well, he wasn't going to play there anyway. I mean, he can go wherever he wants. So what are you saying, Barnes? It's so interesting about baseball right now? Yeah, right now. Baseball's more. Champions Sunday is eons away. Yeah, it's called Sunday. So tell me what's happening in baseball right now that I give a shit about. Right, nothing. So a case of shut the fuck up. Miami quarterback Emory Williams, 3 years he wasn't playing. He's going to transfer to East Carolina. No one cares. When the Nets traded Mikal Bridges, this is from Billy Reinhart, to the Knicks in 23, simultaneously trading Suns picks for the return of their own from Houston. Never could we have imagined that Phoenix would have a better record than the Knicks in January 2026. The Knicks slide is surprising, but not nearly surprising as Phoenix's surge this season. Yeah, very fortunate outcome. You mentioned baseball every show. What are you talking about? I mentioned baseball every show because you talk about it every show. I don't talk about it. All my cards today, there's nothing about baseball in here, buddy. Nothing in baseball. Nothing. Nothing. There's nothing about baseball. You bring up baseball. Utah lawmakers are targeting prop bets. Come on, of course they're going to do that. Yeah. A bill proposes amendments to the state's criminal code, which already bans gambling, clarifying that any proposition wager is illegal. That's where it should be everywhere. It's ridiculous. Former NFL head coach and UNC offensive coordinator Freddie Kitchens is taking a unpaid role with the Clemson Tigers. Yeah. I talk about baseball every game. Yeah, because there's so much happening. Oh, Red Bull Arena is going to get the rugby matches are coming up. March 14th and 15th. I looked at tickets, $140 for the 2 days. I kind of want to go. Yeah, rugby's biggest party, the SVNS New York, March 14th, 15th at Sports Illustrated Stadium. Tickets on sale. I might go. I'm thinking about it. Oh, fuck my knees. Dude, I'm getting too old for this shit. How about this? They said Carson Beck looks like Steve Buscemi. I'm not going to lie. He looks a little bit like Steve Buscemi. He does. Looks a little bit like him. Yeah. Head coach, JMU. Offensive coordinator, JMU. Defensive. All the coaches, block punt, all from JMU. So my cousin Teddy goes, don't you think that JMU should also get part of the championship trophy? Buscemi is a great actor. Mike Battine's 2014 Browns coaching staff. Yeah. Barnes, you see, you're not the person I talked about this. You watch baseball. You don't watch movies. I don't even know if you watch any TV. You watch baseball and I don't even know what else. And UConn basketball. That's it. This isn't for you, Barnes. JD talks sports. JD goes see sports. You go see some hockey games. You go see some UConn games. You see baseball games. You went to an Ohio State game. Rugby is kind of cool, dude. Have you ever seen it? I would love you out on the field. First of all, you'd be puking your guts out because you couldn't run up and down the field. But I would love to see you out there. Yes. Like 4 sports, like 3 or 4. So Mike Battine's 2014 Browns coaching staff, Kyle Shanahan, Aaron Glenn, Jeff Hafley, didn't Hafley just get a job? Where did Dolphins, Anthony Weaver, Bob Babich, Mike McDaniel, Mike LaFleur, Chris Tabor. 2 current head coaches, 1 former head coach, 3 defensive coordinators, 1 special team coach, 4 current head coach candidates. Oh, and golf. Right, because do you notice how much I talk about golf? I talk about a guy from LIV. That's my golf. Golf is this. A sport you play, not a sport you talk about. That's what that is. That's Snoozeville. Yes. You did play 3 years of high school football. Yes. When was that? 75 years ago? That was a long time ago, Barnes. Long time ago. I'll tell you, if you want to do the Oklahoma drill against me, I'm up for it. I'm ready. I'm 56, and I'm angry. And we can do it anytime you want, buddy. Yes, I love the Masters. The Masters, because I know warm weather's coming. Because it is beautiful, and it's great. Masters is one of a kind. Yes. I'll take it anytime you want. Anytime. And Tommy sent me this from Pete Blackburn. Yeah, you do like golf. Pete Blackburn, this is what Tommy sent me. Getting a youth hockey fight, a college hockey fight, a PWHL fight, and an NHL goalie fight, all within a matter of days, is making me believe in 2026. Yes. You want to see me in an Oklahoma drill with Barnes? Anytime, buddy. Bring it on. Let's make it happen. Let's make some magic together. Oh, my God. I saw a thing from the Sweet Queen pins last night. It was hilarious. I sent it to Rob. I mean, it was hilarious. It was... Yeah, so second half, first half they had 22 plays, 69 yards, Miami. Second half, and this was before the fourth quarter, 18 plays, $153 and 14 points. I love when Barnes tells story. I used to squat 400 pounds. I have no visual. I have no video of this. Yeah. I used to do 400 pounds. I used to do this. I used to do that. Whenever he came on the show when I was an IG, Barnes was on what we call the Donald Trump machine. He's on the elliptical. Dudes don't go on ellipticals. They don't go like this at the gym. At least I mean, maybe they're wearing tights. Maybe he wears tights in the gym or wears his biker shorts. But this is Barnes in the gym on his elliptical. I'm a maniac, maniac, you know. That's what he's on. I will come up and work out with you anytime you. I'll drive up right now. I'm pretty jacked. I'm pretty jacked up right now. Oh, hello. Thought I lost everybody for a second, but we're good. We're good. No, I am. I got to lose weight, dude. I'm 209. I'm carrying a little extra poundage on my body. And I love you. I love you. That's why I love you. And yesterday, in the California Syracuse game, the Syracuse California player was underneath the hoop and she bounced the ball off the Syracuse player, unbeknownst to her, caught the ball, and hit the layup to send it to third overtime. Or no. I think it was Syracuse off the. Let me look. Was it Dominique Darius did it? And I got to look up Dominique Darius. UConn women, which Barnes never talks about, never posts about that. He always posts about the men, but the women get screwed. He doesn't post about the women. No, never. Dominique Darius did it yesterday. She is Syracuse. Yeah. Oh, here, watch this. Watch. Let me see if I can. Hold on a sec. Hold on. She bounced it off her back. The coach is like, what the fuck just happened? Watch this. Look at this. Oh, I'd be so pissed. God damn. Barnes, you can't watch much of anything. Yeah, only Angel Reese. That's all you can watch. Barnes, see, I'm trying to like open up your sports palette right now. And it's hard, man. You're a hard man to palette to open. You're very hard. It's hard to do. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Alex Nedjikov versus Barbovsky, who went flying down to the other side of the ice. They really were just patting each other. There wasn't a lot of punching or whatever. It was kind of lame. Yeah, Shea Ralph played and coached UConn under Gino Auriemma. They're the only two remaining. Now I think I feel like I have that a lot. I have a lot of what? Oh yeah, Vandy women's basketball. So Shea Ralph's the coach there. Vandy women's basketball. They beat Michigan. Ooh, they beat Michigan the other day, 70-69. And now he's giving me his whole list of things he watches. Like he's after school and he has to write it on the board. Well, I like baseball. I like football. Then I like college football. You know, when I was 12 years old, I was actually recruited to play college football. They said I was a prophet almost. Generational talent, they said. You're all right, Barnes. I love you. And now he's going through his whole thing. You're good. You're good. You're good. He's just going to keep going. Even if we don't want the list, he's going to give us the list. NBA 6. Yeah, you're good. You're good in my book. And I'm trying to get the freaking Vandy women's basketball. And Twitter doesn't let you do anything. Vandy women's. Let me see if we can do this. How about women's? I'm trying to find if they're undefeated because the women, they beat Notre Dame yesterday. They beat them up bad. Beat them up. I mean, it's bullshit. I can't get anything on this fucking thing. How about Vandy women's basketball? Yeah, how about women's basketball? Oh, they were 14-0. That's a while ago. Yeah, well, why are you giving me this stuff? I want to see Vandy women's basketball. They are now LSU's not playing as well. I know Southeastern. Here we go. South. Where is the Sun Belt? I don't care about that. What's going on here? SEC. Really? Unbelievable that they're not giving me any. Southeastern, Atlantic 10, Big 12, Big East, Big West Conference. Wow. I'll tell you. You have to go through like 8,000 things to get South. Yeah, I just want the standings. All I want is the standings for the SEC. This is unbelievable. Yeah, they're not giving it to me. Big East, UConn, yeah, women 19-0, 9-0. Big 10, Big West Conference. It's amazing that they don't have it here. All I want is Vandy's women's basketball. That's all I want. That's all I want. And they're 19-0. Yeah, 19-0 the women. So they're both undefeated. Nice going. Whatever. I tried. Well, oh, you're giving me more of your stuff? Let me see. Did he give? Michigan's on their way home. Don't need to say that. No, don't say that in front of Joe's. Don't say that in front of Josh. You would have played college football? Seriously? Where would you play D3 somewhere? Oh. Oh, I thought you said you would have played. Josh is fine. Josh, you be your own man, dude. You do you. That's what I have to say on that front. All right. So I'm going through all my cards. Did I miss anything else? Yeah, all four final teams. One in the last 12 years. It's never happened before. WTF stats. Cignetti slept till 9:30. Canes could not be more cooked. They played well. He said he was confident, did all his work, we're ready. Yeah, hiring Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley as their head coach. So now their seventh straight coach with no head coaching experience. Gino Auriemma, 41st season at UConn, 12 national championships, 16 losses versus Notre Dame, more than any other opponent. They blew them out. So that's done. That is done. All right, yeah, I got everything today. All right, Michigan's on our way home. Oh, Drew Petzing and Dan Campbell have not coached together. He's going to be the OC. There is a connection of sorts. Petzing is extremely close to Ben Johnson. They coached together at Boston College, and Petzing served as one of Johnson's groomsmen. So that's the new OC, per Field Yates. Does that mean anything? I don't know. I just saw it, and I was like, oh, okay. I was curious what that meant. Wish Don a happy birthday yesterday. Yes. Did I miss anything else? No. We're good. All right. Trivia questions. Here we go. All right. Who is the first NBA player to score at least 20 points in 40-plus straight games to begin a season? The first since George Gervin in 81-82 when he had 45. The first NBA player to score at least 20 points in 40 straight games. The first since George Gervin, most since the ass. I did say that out loud. Yeah, my cousin said to me, did I just say the ass fucking is coming hard with no lube? Did I just say that out loud? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did. Yeah, I got problems. What did Rob send me? I want to be the first to congratulate and welcome Robert Saleh back as the 49ers coordinator in 2029. East Bay Chris. That's exactly that is exactly it. That is exactly the truth. Yes, 100%. Yeah, the Blue Devils are suing Darian Menza. Yeah, good luck. Yeah, good luck with all that. Yeah, that was fun. So anybody have an answer to that trivia question that I just said? Rob, that was a good one. That was a good one. All right. The last player, who is the first player, an NBA player, to score at least 20 points in 40-plus straight games to begin a season since George Gervin in 81-82 had 45? That is the first question I have for today. And it might be the last. If you guys are all busy, I'll stop here. All right. Okay. All right. So that's the first one, and I got one more. But it sounds like you guys are busy. Should I waste the second one? Yeah. All right. So I said the first one. Who is the only NBA player, first NBA player to score at least 20 points in 40 straight games to begin a season since George Gervin in 81-82, first 45. Who was the first NBA player? What do you mean you're at the? Is everything okay? Don't tell me you're at the doctors and just nonchalantly say you're at the doctors. Who was the first NBA player to score at least 20 points in 40-plus straight games to begin a season since George Gervin in 81-82? 20 points in 40 straight games. Oh, occupation therapy? All right, dude. You do you, dude. Don't worry about it. No, not Harden. First NBA player to score at least 20 points, but it is an active player to score 20 points in 40 straight games to begin a season since George Gervin in 81-82. Nope. Not Durant. Not Maxey. Wow, I got you guys. 20 points in the first 40 games, 40-plus straight games to begin a season. I think I did good stuff today. Maybe the fuck guy's a little too much. Not Curry. And it's this season. It's a player did it this season. It's this season a player's done it. Maybe I should have said that. Yeah. This season, a player has scored 20 points in 40-plus straight games to begin the season. First since George Gervin in 81-82 with first 45. I thought this was an easy question. You guys are not getting it. Shit. Nope, not Brown. Pop. Got to get my hour on my watch. If I forget, Yeah, I went to the gym. Oh, and a young kid was working out with no shirt on today. Weighed like 100 pounds. No shirt on. I almost went up to him. I was going to kill him. I'm like, dude, put your shirt on. Dude. And he thought he was a badass. He was like looking around like tough guy. And I was like, not Alexander. Wait, who's Alexander? Alexander? Wait, who's Alexander? Not Joker. Wow. No, wow. Nobody's got it. And you've done a lot of guesses. Thank you. That was like 10. Okay, here's the last trivia question for today. Here we go. Last trivia question of the day. Who's Alexander? Oh, nobody calls him SGA. Alexander. Shai Gilgeous. Nobody calls him Alexander. I've never heard anybody call Alexander. I've never heard anybody say Alexander. Yeah. Nobody. Okay. What NFL team has scored 40-plus points, rushed for 150-plus yards, had 0 turnovers, allowed 0 touchdowns, had fewer than 10 penalty yards, scored a special team touchdown? What NFL team scored 40-plus points? Yes, that's his last name. Nobody calls him Alexander. Does anybody call him, hey, Mr. Alexander? No. They call him SGA. What team? See, that one he got right away. Right away. Gentlemen, as always, I love you all so dearly. So dearly. I hope Volpe this year hits 50 home runs, 140 RBIs, hits 363, and the Yankees finish 70 and 92, and I will be at as many games as possible with Barnes, wearing my Soto Mets jersey. I might even get a tattoo of Barnes on my back. Barnes, can you get me a picture of you when you squatted 400 pounds and I could get that tattooed on my back? Actually, I'd like video. Do you have video of you playing football games? You have to have video or something of you playing football games. I'm going to have to come over to the house. I'll hang out with Mom and Pop, and we'll watch some old videos of you playing football. Because I'd like to watch that. Then we'll go in the back. We'll get the Oklahoma drill going. Last man standing. No shirts on. We'll put baby oil over our bodies, so it'll give us. We can't really grab each other. We'll put on the sumo. Throw some rice. That's what we could have in the backyard instead of cockfighting. Sumo fights, because that's not no animal gets hurt. Who wouldn't want to watch the sumo fights? Those will be good. Oh, that's a good visual. HEJ, that's a visual you'd like to see. We could do hobby horsing, like that could be the in between entertainment between the sumo matches, and we could have sumo matches. We got a lot of guys here who carry a little heft with them. Ernie was a fullback. Who else do we have? Patty, especially. Patty would kill all of us. We probably could go 5 against 1 against Patty, he'd kill all of us. I don't know. All right. Yeah, I think I drank too much Mountain Dew today. But everybody have a super day. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Yeah. Show later tomorrow. All right. Go Rangers. Or the Knicks are not playing tonight, right? Rangers at 10. St. John's playing Senior Hall, so no, Brandon's excited. Is anything else happening tonight that's exciting? Yankees aren't. Cody Bellinger says he will have a decision soon. I don't know what that means. I don't know what the soon means, but it's soon. So, and it is freezing out. So be careful. It's cold out there. Have a lovely night. Peace out. Love you all.